And welcome back to Pure Nebraska. Wednesdays here on the program, we like to welcome a volunteer from the farm women's group CommonGround to the studio.
CommonGround is a group of farm women who want to be a resource for consumers who want to know how their food is grown. So joining us now from the Shickley area is Leslie Boswell. Always nice to see you.
I'm so glad to be here.
I know it's busy for you. You said your husband's in the field and he needs your help.
He is. When I left
here.
this morning, yeah, he said hurry back, and I thought, oh, I've got things I wanted to do in Lincoln today, but we need to get things moved to the field, and so he can keep planting, and that's my job. So
duty calls. Yep.
Maybe you could do a little bit of both, right? Do some things in Lincoln and then head home.
I hope.
Yeah.
But yet Brad's talking about rain this afternoon, so then it comes to, we get everything moved to the field in case it does rain, or do I delay a little bit here and then maybe it'll rain before we get everything moved over there and then have to move everything back. So you just don't know on some of these things, but that's this time of year, and we may not like it, but we're used to it.
You're used to it, exactly. Well, let's talk today. It's common for farmers to use herbicides and chemicals on the fields. So why do you guys do it?
It's really important that you start with a clean seed bed. Same thing in gardens. I can pull this back into gardeners in town. You want the weeds out of there because they take nutrients. They take the water, they take the sunlight away from the plants that you're trying to plant. So you want to get those out. And that's what we have to do on a very large basis in our fields, is that we have to have a clean seed bed. That way we don't have to go back in later and use either tillage, or it cuts down on chemical use later. But we've got to get those weeds out of there so that our plants can grow the most efficiently.
So consumers might be kind of wondering about this. Is there an effort that farmers make to make sure the spray doesn't drift maybe? Does it drift to neighbors, or does it affect other people, or do you make an effort to kind of make sure it doesn't do that?
Well, some of our fields are out in the middle of nowhere, so it doesn't make that much difference.
Right. However,
we do have crops in adjoining fields that may be susceptible to the sprays that we're putting on. When we're around town, we've got neighbors, they've got their flower beds, just like spraying the field around my home. I've got flower beds all over the place. I don't want them affected. I don't want my yard affected. We try very, very hard to limit the drift, and some of them do, some of them not so much. It depends on the chemical. It depends on what other things, it's called a carrier that you can put in with them that the spray binds to. And then it doesn't drift as much because it will go straight down into the plant, and then once it's there, it won't move.
Do you worry about wind, or do you work with
absolutely
equipment as well?
Absolutely. There's different types of nozzles that we can use on our sprayers that reduces the amount of drift by changing the size of the droplet that comes out. The technology is just amazing on what it can do for different things. We always watch the wind. We've got a neighbor in town, the wind has to be just exactly out of the southeast to blow it away from their place, and we've tried very hard to do that. Guys across the road, if there's a south wind, they don't spray their fields because it'll all drift into my yard. They watch it very closely, and we try to be very conscious of who's around us, what things are around us, different types of crops, plants, flowers, and we try to watch so that the other crops aren't being affected, other people aren't being affected. Everybody is very careful, and they watch it very closely.
Yeah, it is a concern. Okay. Well, thank you, Leslie, for being here today.
Glad to be here.
And you're sticking around, which
yes.
we like. We've been seeing you here prepping for a food segment.
Yes.
Yeah, we've been watching that for a while. Yeah, which is exciting. So.